What's up, everybody, and welcome back to the interview with Wrestling Daze. This is part 2. If you haven't seen part 1, I'll put a link in the description below. We talked about WWE and all the releases that just happened a couple days ago. Today, we're going to be talking about everything to do with roller coasters and theme parks, how we became coaster maniacs, and Daze's favorite coaster himself. Enjoy the video.
So, can we talk about roller coasters? I definitely want to get onto that subject.
Absolutely. What do you have in mind?
Well, this is the Coaster Maniacs channel, so can you just give me a quick history as to how you got that name?
All right. So simply put, I was at, again, I don't want to make people mad by saying this, but the best theme park in the country of the USA is Cedar Point.
Okay.
Uh, we were there just visiting vacation, and I decided to film one of the roller coasters and put up on my personal YouTube channel. And saw I got a couple of views and decided, hey, let's look into this a little more. And turns out there was a big community for people that are vlogging in the parks, people that are doing histories, top 10 lists, stuff like that. So I said, okay, I'll stick my hat in the ring there, and decided to create a whole new channel based on that. And at first, I wanted it to be called Coaster Mania because I loved wrestling, loved roller coasters, but they do have an event called Coaster Mania already that I didn't want to interfere with that, and that's a big known thing in the community there. So just randomly came up with Maniac, and that's where it was born.
Right. Very cool. And have you got a favorite roller coaster?
That's a hard question there, right? um, I would say probably the one that I've rode the most is the Top Thrill Dragster at Cedar Point. It's a 420-foot roller coaster that goes 0 to 120 miles an hour in 4 seconds. It's a 17-second ride, so it's not a long ride at all. You just go right up and right back down, but you feel it when you get off of it, and it's a lot of fun when it doesn't break down. But
I loved the Florida ones. So I've been to like Orlando quite a few
yeah,
times, and I've been to obviously like Islands of Adventure and the Hulk roller coaster. Been to like Universal Studios and some of those. I mean, like the Universal Studios have got a couple of roller coaster type things that are they're kind of more adventures inside a warehouse. So they've got little,
yep,
dips and whatever, but it's more you kind of go through a story. I'm thinking like the first time I went, which was at the end of the 90s, they still had the King Kong ride there. And that was kind of very much that you went round and there
yeah.
was a few like bumps and things in that. But yeah, I mean like,
So those are dark rides, and
okay,
they are definitely known for them. A lot of them still are down there. A lot of them did unfortunately get demolished to make room for more bigger things.
yeah.
But they're still very popular with the community, and something that we actually do need more up in Massachusetts, where we are based out of. We don't have a lot of dark ride experiences up here. I would love to start seeing them in Six Flags chain a lot more than they have, but that's a topic for another day.
I really like them. I really enjoy them because they are a completely different experience. I mean, like, isn't it Disney that have like the Pirates of the Caribbean one that I think is quite famous? It was like
Yep,
it's a small world. Did it used
it's
to
a
be
small
that
world.
or yeah?
It's still they're two different rides. They have
Oh,
the
they're
Pirates of the
still two
Caribbean ride.
different rides.
Yep,
In my
yep.
head they'd like changed it, or maybe it used to be Pirates Cove and it got changed to Pirates of the Caribbean or something. I can't quite recall. But yeah, those are very similar in that you're on a track and you're going around, and there's a few little bumps. Certainly in the Pirates one, I know there's quite a big drop, or it certainly feels that way because it's as you said, a dark room, and
Yeah.
Space Mountain as well, another great example.
Now the rare chances are, and of course everybody in the community that loves roller coasters, loves the enthusiasts, love trying to get on Uh, say Space Mountain with the lights on. That's a rare experience to do. Or like Top Thrill Dragster, everybody at the start is told sometimes the ride might roll back. I'm one of them that's never been actually on it when it rolls back, but I would love to have that opportunity. And there's people out there that are like, no, no, no. If it rolls back, I'm never going on anything like that. But I would love to do that. Go up it and not make it over and just come back. That's on a bucket list
Right.
for sure. Right.
Is that something that they do? Is it?
It's mainly controlled by weather and wind. It's not something they generally do on purpose.
Right.
It's if the weather. What happens is it's a launch that is on a computer, and it basically uses the same amount of force and energy that the last launch did. And if the wind's off or something, or if it just rained, there's water on the track. Sometimes it might not crest the top of the ride and might fall backwards.
Fascinating.
Yes, and that's what a lot of us are hoping to experience, but unfortunately, a lot of us don't get that experience. And a lot of people that do are the ones that were afraid to go on the ride itself.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, what about you? Are you afraid of heights, or do you like roller coasters? Or
I'm not afraid of heights. I'm not a massive fan of heights either. I mean, like, don't get me wrong. If I'm like really high up, it's definitely on my mind. But I'm not someone that would necessarily be put off by heights. There's quite a tall roller coaster in the UK, which I think it was called Stealth in Thorpe Park. And that is, I couldn't even tell you how high that is, but just off the top of my head, that's the highest roller coaster I've been on in the UK. As I said, I've been in like on the American ones. There is like the Pepsi Max challenge. I think is that a little one? Is it?
yeah, it's the little one over in the corner. He's
Uh,
waking up from his nap.
I didn't know if it was you for a second. But yeah,
He thought that was funny. Thanks, Dave.
oh, well, there we go. We cater to all ages, but the Pepsi Max big one, which is in Blackpool, that is I've never been on that. That's on my bucket list. But Stealth in Thorpe Park, that is absolutely huge. And
I know you got Alton Towers there too, a park that we have not been into.
okay,
And they have the famous Smiler there that we would so much like to go on that ride. It has the world's most inversions on any coaster there in
right,
the world. I believe 14 inversions,
yeah, I mean,
and nothing else like it.
yeah, that's one of our big parks. That's certainly one that gets all the headlines. They actually opened up a massive wooden roller coaster there recently called the Wikerman, and I think you kind of like go through his mouth and there's like fire. I mean, like it sounds crazy having a wooden roller coaster and then putting like big flamethrowers everywhere as well, but it's meant to be an awesome experience. It's kind of like a modern wooden roller coaster. They've really used like modern technology and everything. It's supposed to be like out of this world. And as we were talking about with those dark rooms as well, what I really like about them is that tells a story, and apparently this does as well. As you go around, you kind of get told the whole Wicker Man story. Obviously all based on the film and everything. So yeah, I would love to go on that. It's been a long, long time. I went to Alton Towers when I was a kid, way before Smiler even existed, before Oblivion existed, or any of those kinds of rides. But yeah, that is regarded as our big and best kind of theme park, if you will. But we've got Thorpe Park, we've got Pleasure Beach on in Blackpool, where they've got the Pepsi Max, the I don't know what it's called anymore, the big one, Pepsi Max, something along those lines. We've got like Chessington World of Adventure and I don't know. I mean, like Drayton Manor. We've got a fair few, but yeah, no, I don't think anything that compares to like Florida or Six Flags or
Well, what they recently did in the Disney chain down there, and everybody's going nuts about it. I get tweet about it. I get talked about it. I got family down there that's been trying to go on it. It's the Star Wars. They just launched a new ride down there. It's a dark ride, and it's from what I've seen, it's absolutely mind blowing.
Oh,
It's a multi kind of ride. Like you get in the ride, and then you get off of a ride, you get on the ride, you get off a ride, and it's so well right now. Obviously, with everything going on, you can't get on it. But back then when it launched and opened up, they had actually on the app you had to basically reserve a ride time, and every person that did it started at 8 a.m. that you had to go onto the app and hit the button to reserve your time. And it was not the first person that hits the button, you're in group one, group two, group three. It was basically like a raffle where
wow.
you could be there at 8 o'clock, or you could even be there's people there at like midnight waiting on opening day. I saw waiting there. And if you hit the button right at 8, you could be in group like 200, 300, 400, even though you're like the first person there. I have family that's been wanting to go on it, but has yet been able to because it's all been booked up. It's supposed to be a crazy experience.
I actually thought that that was some kind of simulator, you know, one of those that you sit in and you move around and, you know, you go shooting at the Death Star and things like that. I thought it was one of those kind of experiences. I didn't realize that there was more elements to it than that.
Yeah, this is they do have a ride that's like that.
Okay.
This is their brand new one. It opened probably a month ago.
Oh, okay.
Uh, yep, I believe it's called Rise of the Resistance. If I might be mistaken. Let me know in the comments below if I am. But that and to go back to the wooden coaster thing, they have I don't know if they are over in the UK yet, but they have a company over in America called RMC, Rocky Mountain Constructions. And what they do is they take old beat down wooden coasters and they turn them into hybrids. And so they basically put metal on top of the frame, and they get to basically create mind blowing things. There's some that go upside down. There's some that have stall. It's incredible, and I've been on a couple of them. We actually have one in my home park that's rated pretty high, but there's definitely some. They actually just built one in Tampa that I want to go on, called Iron Gwazi, and it's over 200 feet tall and over 90-degree angle drop. It's insane.
Wow. That sounds insane. I mean, that's the kind of thing that I would definitely be interested in going on as well. I don't really ever necessarily go out of my way to like search out roller coasters or anything like that. But certainly if I was in the area and it was like, what should we do today? Then yeah, you know, I would definitely be up for going to theme parks and jumping on roller coasters, things like that. I've always enjoyed them, but I don't think I've ever got to your level of like fandom, if you will, where I'm trying to got bucket lists and things along those lines. You know.
Well, the funny part is I actually up until about 17 years old, maybe even 16, I hated them. I didn't want anything to do with them. I was one that liked to keep my feet on the ground, and then I went to Cedar Point for the first time, and I'm telling you that place. They call themselves the roller coaster capital of the world, and I mean they have 18 roller coasters in one park. It's massive.
Wow.
Always expanding too. It's and they're celebrating their 150th anniversary this year as well.
Very cool. I'm jealous that you live that close to something that impressive.
I'm more jealous of the people that live like 30 minutes, half hour. I'm it's about give or take.
About how long?
But about 9 hours, 9 hour drive.
Oh, really? Oh, I thought this was like down the road, kind of an hour away or something like
Oh
that.
no, 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 no! I would
Oh,
love that. I would
okay.
absolutely. No, my home park's about an hour away, and it I love it to death, but it makes it seem like a carnival.
Right. Okay. Fair play. Fair play. Well, was there any other questions that you had written down?
I don't think so.
We covered them all.
Yeah, it appears to be.
Amazing. Amazing. Wow. Look, I really, really appreciate
I'm definitely.
you having me on.
Yeah, no, pleasure's all mine. And as always, I will always forever be in the live streams or in the video comments of yours, chatting away.
Really appreciate you joining our community, and hopefully all the roller coaster enthusiasts in our community can jump over here and start engaging in roller coaster conversations with you as well. So yeah, very cool, man. Really appreciate you having us on, and really enjoyed this chat as well.
Yeah, no, me as well. And like I said, I will be over there. And actually, before I do go, I want to give, of course, shout out to you and the escape pod that you have. I
Mm,
want to shout that out. And
thank you.
of course, there's another pod that they do. It's called the Wrestling Insiders. If you have not heard of them, I want you to give a little insight on them as well.
Yeah, so the Insiders is our community podcast. It's run by two of our community members, Jeff and Joe. They do a fantastic job. I mean, what they've been able to achieve in such a short space of time has I mean, stunned me. I thought they might do like the odd podcast, hopefully every week, but maybe every other week. And you know, when they contacted me to say that they wanted to do the community podcast, I was really excited, and obviously didn't really know what to expect. But man, they have taken that ball and they have run with it, because every week we get a podcast. They do another little side show with Jody Gilly, which looks at like Bray Wyatt and what's happening with the Firefly Funhouse, and that's called Abby's Window. They've done so many interviews. I believe yourself as well is an interview that's coming up very soon. I think they're going to be talking to you over there. They've
Yep, just got contacted today. Actually, I will be
oh,
on it
brilliant.
some point next week. We're just waiting on a date, and uh, it's gonna be one to watch, I think.
Yeah, well, definitely, and yeah, they do lots of interviews. They've spoke to lots of wrestlers and journalists, and you just never know what they're going to come out with next. They've, as I said, took the ball and really run with it. So really impressed with what they're doing there. So yeah, if anyone's interested in like wrestling or just finding out more about wrestling, then yeah, that's a really good place to start and join our community. It's a nice way into the community as well, I think. So yeah, good shout out, good mention.
And you have your little podcast as well, right?
Yeah, I probably should mention that, shouldn't I? That's meant to be just something really chilled, really easy, just something that drops every Friday, and it's literally just intended to be no longer than an hour. Some episodes will be even less than that, more around the 50-minute mark, and it's literally just each one is on a different subject. We try to put like as much fun and facts and just whatever we can into it, so that it's just an enjoyable 50 minutes a week, and that's it. No pressure, no expectations. It's just really fun to make, and I really enjoy doing that. So yeah, I mean, that very much is just something that sits on the side. We've done 2 episodes so far. We've another 2 that we've recorded, and yeah, we're just going to keep going with it, and it seems like people really enjoy it. So, and I love doing it as well.
And it is called the Wrestling Escape Pod.
Yeah, you're definitely better at promoting these things than I am. I'm just sitting here swooning and chatting away, and you're the one that's like dropping in the names and where you've got to go, and you've got a bright future, my friend, a bright future.
I appreciate that. All right, guys, you can follow Wrestling Daze at Wrestling Daze on Twitter, right?
Yep.
And if you haven't been to his channel, I advise you to go check him out. He is live streaming all the time.
Literally all the time. Probably live streaming right now. But you're right to be watching this instead. I can already say this is way better than whatever's happening over there. So awesome, dude. Thanks a lot.
All right.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Once again, guys, a huge thank you to Wrestling Daze for taking time out of his busy schedule to come and talk to me. If you haven't followed him or subscribed to him, go ahead and do so for more wrestling content. He streams, like you said, it's all the time. Really nice guy. And until next time, don't forget to like, subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one.